Alrighty, here we go. Township of Evesham regular meeting, today dated April 14th. Is tomorrow tax day or is it tomorrow? Okay. Midnight tomorrow. Pay your taxes. Alrighty. Let's say Township of Evesham regular meeting dated April 14, 2015. Plea is called to order. Please rise for a flag salute. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, here we go. This is a regular meeting of the Evesham Township Council. Proper notification has been given to our two official newspapers, the Burlington County Times, Central Record, and also posted here in the building itself at least 48 hours in advance of this meeting. Proper notification has been given to any person so requesting the same. This meeting is held in conformance in conjunction with the Open Public Meetings Act and any other applicable acts or statutes of the state of New Jersey. Mr. McGee, the floor is yours.
The Evesham Township Council meeting is now in session. We ask that everyone be respectful and adhere to all the rules, regulations, and laws pertaining to open public meetings. If at any time someone is deemed to be disorderly and/or disruptive, they will be removed from the meeting and may be detained for acting disorderly. Thank you for attending.
Mary Lou, please call roll.
Mr. DeAndrea.
Aye.
Mr. Deanna.
Here.
Ms. Agnew.
Oh, here. It's not felt.
Here.
You can bring it off.
Mr. Zulli.
Here.
Mayor Brown.
Here.
Also present is Township Manager, Township Engineer, Township Solicitor, Deputy Township Managers, Township Clerk, Deputy Township Clerk.
Okay, I need approval of minutes. I need approval of minutes, regular meeting February 24th, 2015, please. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Need a motion to move preliminary public comment to agenda items only till after all of the police chief summary, the administrative oath, the proclamations, please.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Well, listen, those of you who haven't been here before, welcome. These are great days. These are days that we're really excited to do what we do here in Evesham. We always start off our 6:30 meetings with a police summary. We're very proud of what our police department continues to do and grow, not just on the local scene, but on the national scene. And Chief, it's almost like a week goes by anymore where we get another shooting, accidental shooting, and we have police chiefs all over the United States asking for body cameras. So now here we are over a year later from when we pretty much enacted the program. And how is our body camera program coming?
It's been an overwhelming success, not only just for our officers, but for the community in general. And like I tell our officers, we're capturing all the good things that they're doing each and every day. And we haven't had a lawsuit lodged against this since we implemented the program.
Great.
So that talks about why we started.
Well, floor is yours, Chief. Why don't you start with your police chief summary,
All right,
please?
real quick, I want to go into a summary of our DDAX enforcement. The DDAX is an acronym that stands for Data-Driven Approach to Crime and Traffic Safety. Basically, in essence, what it means is what we look at is a 5-year period to determine where our problematic areas are involving our social harms that are affecting our community. The social harms include traffic collisions, driving while intoxicated, shopliftings, and people coming from outside of our community burglars to our residents and our commercial businesses. So we started in 2010, and what I wanted to show you, just a comparison, so we like to talk about, Councilman DeAndrea and I like to talk about return on investment. You know, why do we put people out there, and what are the results that we get in return? So, in 2010, inside that DDAX zone, we had 856 collisions. This was after the engineering of the Wellington Circle. So this is not an engineering issue. This was an issue of people driving hazardously. As a result, last year, we experienced 305 crashes only. So that's a reduction of 551 crashes. So, that's a decrease of 64%, and that's a result of our officers being extremely proactive, being out there, identifying hazardous driving behaviors, and taking corrective action through enforcement and also through education. So there's our return on investment. As a result, a decrease of 64%. According to ISO, which is a various analytic company that admits it, National Highway Traffic Safety utilizes, they determined what is the financial impact of a crash. And I just looked at auto liability alone. I did not look at ones with injuries. The average cost is approximately $3,073 for each crash. So if you back that number in 2010, it cost our community approximately $2.6 million in crashes. As a result of us being out there being proactive and decreasing the crashes, in 2014 the approximate cost was $937,000, which resulted in a savings of $1.6 million. And it didn't cost the township any more money to get this result. The only thing that we did as an organization is we put people, our human resources, which is our officers, in places where these incidents were occurring, so we're protected.
And that's on the physical damage, that's not...
That's just physical damage. I didn't even get into the personal injury one, which I'm going to talk about next month to show you that savings. So this is just property alone, and this is conservative figures here. I think it's a lot higher. This is just conservative. Now burglaries, we had 15 in 2010. We got it down to 5. It may seem like an insignificant number, just 10. Each burglary costs approximately to the homeowner, to insurance, to the community, approximately $13,096. So over that time, by reducing it just by 5, we saved the community approximately $130,000. Townwide, this has an overwhelming effect because what we're realizing is that people are not coming into our community and committing crimes. So as a result, each year we have to file a report through the Uniform Crime Reporting System, State Police, outlining the total amount of value of items taken from burglaries, from our houses, from our commercial businesses. And in 2010, the number was a staggering $971,238 was the property value stolen from our community. In 2014, we got that number down to $665,000 as a result of us being proactive, preventing people from coming in our community and committing crimes. So we saved the townwide $306,000. This is something that as an organization we take very seriously. This is another reason why we have a very proactive traffic unit. You're going to see a picture there of the subject named Sean English, township resident, age 19. He was killed on May 24, 2009 at the age of 19 from a person driving while intoxicated. I was the first officer out there, and I'll tell you, it's something that you'll never forget, seeing that issue, and family will never have the ability to see your child again. But I'm going to throw some statistics up there that talk about why we are so proactive with DWI enforcement. So, drunk driver kills someone every 53 minutes. Drunk drivers injure someone every 2 minutes. And you can go down the list how many people are dying. And I'm going to show you a video that's going to start.
Sean English.
In essence, what this video shows is the English family talking about the fact that they'll never see their child grow up, they'll never see their child get married, they'll never see their child have children, they'll never be able to have grandchildren as a result of Sean being killed by someone that got behind the wheel, driving while intoxicated, ran a red light. Of course, the person who was driving while intoxicated lives, as it usually is, and an innocent person was killed. Again, like I said, I was the first one out there. It was the worst experience of my life. I felt it at my core that night. I felt so bad for family. Every day I come in, I still think about that incident. So we're not out there trying to generate revenue or anything along those lines. We're out there and being proactive to prevent people from getting behind the wheel and driving while intoxicated. One of the best quotes I've heard as a result of our proactiveness is from a taxi company. He grabbed one of our officers on a midnight shift and said, "Thank you, Evesham Police. My business has gone up 100% over the past 2 years." That's all I needed to hear, because that means, and the result was he was getting late calls because people did not want to drive in our community driving while intoxicated. And we have been very proactive. Mayor and council has given us a lot of money, overtime money, so we could be out there around the clock to identify and arrest individuals for driving while intoxicated. So that is our mission as an organization, and we can thank those individuals in the back for being out there 24/7, whether it's raining, snowing. I know that I feel so comfortable at night when I put my head on the pillow knowing that those men and women are out there aggressively addressing these issues. So I just want to touch base on the issue. Any comments?
I think I said it at the meeting a couple meetings ago, but they don't give you a handbook on how to be mayor. And I know they sure as heck don't give you a handbook on how to be police chief. And they don't give you a handbook on how to be a council person. And the worst things that I've had to do as mayor is go to these funerals. And I believe when we spoke about it before, when you're looking at in our first 2 years in our first 2 years up here, we went to 4. And thankfully, we haven't been to another one. And so, just like you, I think this council is confident that we are trying to put as many resources as possible to make sure we do everything possible. Being out in the community as much as I am, people are afraid to come to Evesham. When I say afraid to come to Evesham, commit a crime, afraid to come to Evesham and drink and drive. But you wouldn't know by the 2-hour wait at Redstone on a Saturday night. So, you know, when you talk to our business owners, it's not been a bad thing. And it's not been a thing where that, you know, occasionally a naysayer or two has come out and said, well, people just want to come to Evesham. Oh, no, they come. They come to levels of which has never been seen in history. And I know, Chief, unfortunately, all this wonderful news will never make the front page of a newspaper. They'd rather write about art pieces instead. But to me, this is the core of what public service is all about. It's protecting lives and making the town the best, safest place to live. So what you guys do, what all you guys do in the back, and our whole staff, and what our new recruits and our new police officers are going to continue to do, is enforce the laws of which we have on the books, be around our kids, have your baseball cards ready, please, because I love it every morning when I pull up to DeMacy and drop my first grader and third grader off, and I think they've got the same policeman's baseball card 6 times in a room, but every time it's the new time, it's the first time, and our kids feel safe having you around. Once again, that story will never make the cover of a newspaper. They'd rather write about art pieces. But to me, the safety of our children, and I believe we have over 4,600, Tom, about 4,600 kids in Evesham's K through 8.
I'll agree with that.
Okay. Sandy's usually my number, almost 5,000. I don't know, somewhere in that range. So it's a lot of parents, a lot of kids, but you guys do one heck of a job. So we do. Chief, it was amazing. Here we are this weekend. I was in California on vacation with my family, and I was watching those things that went down on the police shootings. And here we are again. We're so ahead of the curve here in Evesham. We've been ahead of the curve, and people keep moving here. We keep building permits are through the roof. Nancy, has your department ever been busier than it is today? We were trying to figure it out today, Chief. This time next year, we will have a dozen just commercial and residential projects being built. A dozen. Right now, we've got, you know, the Wawa going up and the Republic Bank going up and some other things going up. We've got a dozen. That doesn't count the over 300 homes, townhouses, regular homes, which already got permits for. So they're coming. And to me, the selling point of the everyday person who's sitting out there, whose kids wrestle and whose kids play baseball in the new complex, the kids go to school here. Why do they come here? They come here because you guys are making it safe. We're enacting wonderful laws which make things better. We're bringing things for the children to play on these great fields. And we have a great school system. That's why they're coming here. So you guys are at the top of that food chain. Because it's safe, it's a great place to raise a family is why they're coming. So hats off to you and your organization and to Chief Barth before you who started this ball rolling. And we're really proud of what you guys continue to do. I know you can't say it enough. It's like you can't tell your wife, you know, and your kids you love them enough, you know. You love them so much, but same with you guys. We love you guys. We love everything you guys do. And there's no words and amounts of money to say what we feel and believe. It's wonderful. And and while you're up here, I got to tell you, Ron Ritter, and do not let him talk right now, by the way, but Ron Ritter, I have had wonderful things continue to say the community policing that you guys are doing, that Ron's heading up. It is wonderful. I got continued positive feedback on what's happening there, visibility. We were just with the guys at Burns the other night, and they were complimenting Ron and his whole staff on the crosswalk behind Burns and how it makes life so much easier and safer for their employees to go back and forth. There are the little things. Once again, Ron, I'm sorry, you're never going to make the front page of the newspaper because you don't have an art piece. If you had an art piece, maybe make the front page of the newspaper while you're helping people be safe. But until then, you just have to get it from me. You probably won't even make the newspaper, unfortunately. But either way, what you've done in community policing and all, outstanding, fabulous. They're the stuff we see every day. These kids understand and love. But do we have baseball cards? Do we have more on order?
We just talked about that. We have 3 new officers that we're going to be introducing tonight, and we got to get some more baseball cards.
Good.
So it's on our agenda.
Yeah, because your guy's out. Your guy's out.
Mayor,
Tom.
talking about publicity, when the state issued their statistics for the year, it was pointed out that we've written more tickets than many others, and we got a lot of publicity for that. And I guess some out there was saying that, you know, it's a money grab on the township's part. And what I wanted to point out is our total court fees that we've taken in amount to 3% of our revenues, just 3%. And we couldn't begin to tell you what part of that comes from what street. But we can tell you this, the DDAX area, because it's the most dangerous one, is a priority. That also happens to be a state highway. So we see very little of that money. So it has nothing to do with revenue. It has everything to do with public safety.
So Chief, of all the roads, the less income we bring in from 7073.
Correct. And that is where we have the most amount of crashes and people from outside coming in and not really caring about it. So that is where we focus our attention as a result. Town-wide,
Right.
crashes have gone down, burglaries have gone down, shoplifting has gone down. So it's having a significant impact and doesn't require us to spend more money and resources out.
I know stunningly that would be a fact that was, of course, left out of a story, but that seems to be the case lately. So, okay. Chief, awesome job. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to just
have one real quick. I was told to just give a quick update on the crosswalk in Green Tree and Brandywine.
shoot.
All right, here is the overview of Green Tree and Brandywine regarding a crosswalk. We're looking at getting some signs. What we've done to this point, we trimmed a lot of trees out there. DPW did an excellent job. So we created more of a sight line of people crossing over Green Tree and cars coming across. We have also updated the paint on the crosswalk to make it more visible. And our next step in the process is getting quotes for electrical work, which I'm going to let Tim talk about or touch briefly on what the next step in the process is.
Mayor, we're at a quote right now for the electrical and signage installation for push-button LEDs that will allow the pedestrian to activate that flasher when they cross and increase safety. So we should see that probably within a couple of days.
Now, this is the Woodstream, you know better than me. Woodstream Swim Club? Okay.
Maybe we need to introduce the topic, reintroduce the topic.
Yeah, might as well.
There's a swim club there. There's a lot of pedestrian activity. I believe someone was, there was an accident out there involving the pedestrians. So we've done everything we could to start to address that situation.
So by doing this, during the summertime, there's a lot of back and forth traffic. Kids from 8 to 17 walking their bikes across the street. We've had complaints in the past of speeding, 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. We're out there aggressively enforcing that issue. But this is another tool in our toolbox to slow traffic down and make a high visibility for the children across the street.
So what pedestrians will do, coming from either direction, they'll be able to push a button at that crosswalk, and there's a sign which will be illuminated on the edges
Great.
with flashers to warn motorists that pedestrians are going across.
Tim, you've had success in other towns with this?
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
I think it's the first time we're using it here.
Yes.
First time I'm here with, several towns in the area.
Great. Wonderful. Thanks. Good, Chief. I'm going to move the agenda around just a touch with the proclamations. And I ask all of you, is after we give you your proclamation, if you'd stay. I'm going to do the younger kids first, and then I want them to stay around so they can see the swearing in of our patrolmen. So whoever has the little baby in the back, they can still sit and wait in the back if they want. Whose baby was that? All right. You can bring a baby in anytime you want, but you're not going to miss anything yet. We'll make sure it's there for pictures. Okay, so council, let's go down, and then let's start backwards. First thing, who's doing Arbor Day? Angie, doing Arbor Day? Come on, Angie. Yeah. Okay, Arbor Day is coming up soon. Arbor Day is coming up soon. So can somebody, any of these kids, anybody know what state in the United States Arbor Day was started in? Anyone? Smart kids. Anyone? No? I thought any of the brown kids would definitely know. Did you say Nebraska, JP? You're right. Good job. You said 35. I said what state? Listen, just cheat off my daughter's paper next to you, okay? All right. So Arbor Day is awesome around here. Those of you that have not been part of Arbor Day around here, we've got a wonderful teacher at Malton Elementary that comes over every year, and we do a Arbor Day presentation. The kids do a play. And ever since I've been mayor, we're going on about year 8 of the event here. And so today, Angie Patel is up here representing us on Arbor Day today. Angie does wears a ton of other hats, and one, I'm going to embarrass her, she is the brains behind our Taste of Evesham. So all of you on Main Street, in a month or so, her and Dave Cohen are the brains behind Taste of Evesham. So also find some time to do Arbor Day at the same time. So every year we proclaim Arbor Day as a day of which we take the time and look and plant trees. So this year we proclaim April 24th as Arbor Day. And as mayor, I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and support the effort to protect our trees and woodlands in Evesham. What we did is when you guys saw the construction of all of the baseball complex in the back, first thing people said was, well, we knocked a lot of trees down. We've actually are in the process of planting 3 times more trees than were actually there knocked down because it was a farm. And one of the drivers behind it has been our class at MES, and a lot of the kids have been great. So, Andrew,
yes, Ms. Sobolewski, every year she has been a driving force behind our celebration. She has a very enthusiastic group of ecology club students that join us every year and surprise us every year with a very informative program, and their talent is outstanding. If you've never been, I really encourage you to come. The celebration will be next Friday, the 24th, here in the courtroom, which is great because rain or shine, we can still do everything, beginning at 11 a.m. So we do invite mayor and council and all members of our community to come out and join us.
yeah, go ahead.
And Taste of Evesham this year will be held on Sunday, May 17th on Main Street. This is our 7th year, and prices have never gone up any year. So
what is it, 15?
It is $15, $10, or $5. So I do encourage you all to come out, bring your friends. It's a great day.
And if you want to volunteer, by the way, because some of you said you want to volunteer, Phil, so you want to volunteer? Or you Taste of Evesham, you're welcome to come out, Phil, and start volunteering. You can start taking money at the front. Okay? Look at him, he's all pumped up. Go sign him.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Ange.
Thank you.
Logo time. Logo time. Jackson and Nicole. Where are Jackson and Nicole? Come on up, guys. All right. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so you want to stand up right in front. Glad you got dressed for the occasion. You look really nice. Love it. Okay, what we did, what council did, excuse me, and the Evesham Celebrations Foundation did, was we of course have the baseball complex. But we set it out among all of the elementary schools to come up with a logo, create a logo. And that will be our logo forever, or until the next council comes in and decides your logo isn't any good. But I will make sure that won't happen. We're going to make this permanent. We'll make sure the chief and Walt Miller and those guys make sure they don't change it. All right, so what we did is we put it out, and I'm telling you, we probably got about 200, 250 responses back. And they were fabulous. And I think when you look at the name, the Diamonds at Arrowhead Park, and you understand the history here and the Indian culture that was here, I thought that these guys, along with some of our other staff that picked this out, was the perfect combination between Marlton, baseball, softball, and the Indian culture. So, I don't know how you guys did it. I'm going to ask you in a minute. I'm going to read this first. Okay? But what we're going to present to everybody is fabulous. I couldn't have created it. We couldn't have created it. He's an engineering guy from Lehigh. That's how smart he is. He couldn't create it. So, all right, so here we go. Township of Evesham held a competition to students under the age of 18 to create a logo for the new baseball softball complex. Whereas of the numerous submissions received, the Township of Evesham was pleased to select the creative design of the brother-sister team of Jackson and Nicole Edelman. Jackson, a 6th grader at DeMacy, and Nicole, a 3rd grader at Beal, will have their design displayed at the ballpark and utilized for all media references to the Diamonds at Arrowhead Park. The Township of Evesham is grateful to have such talented local youth dedicate themselves to this project and is proud to have the original artwork of Jackson and Nicole serve as the motif of the award-winning baseball fields. Which, by the way, I hope you guys know, those fields, we just won 2 awards on those fields. We won Excellence in Design, and we won the Excellence in Engineering. So they were picked last year as the best complex in the state of New Jersey. So your logo, along with this World Series championship, okay? So now, therefore, I, Randy Brown, Mayor of the Township of Evesham, on behalf of all the Township Council and all the citizens, congratulate Jackson and Nicole on winning the logo contest and recognize them for their teamwork and creativity. Ladies and gentlemen, we show you the Diamonds at Arrowhead Park. Okay, so this is what I want. Tell me the story behind the design here. Did you do it all yourself and just wanted to give him a little credit? Is that what happened? Oh! It doesn't take long for the brother to throw the sister under the bus, does it? All right, so tell me a little bit about, tell me some thoughts of what went into it.
So when it was Diamonds at Arrowhead Park first, since I know also baseball moves to be called a diamond, we put a little diamond in the background. And since it's at Arrowhead Park, we put the arrows across the whole design.
And now, did you get to approve this first, or what did you add to this?
Well, I had to add.
Oh, really? Good. How about the colors? Where'd you come up with the colors?
Baseball and softball.
Good. Now, did he design this and then came to your room and said, hey, we're going with this? Did he do that? Or did you work it together? Good. Well, that's great. Well, listen, I'm really proud. Knowing I have a 3rd grader too, you guys, you were the brains. You're just being really nice. But we have that. There we go. So we made this for you too. Guys, you forever have this one. All right, get that one. Okay, get close.
Your Honor, hold on. One last thing. On behalf of the Evesham Celebrations Foundation, and while we put on the Taste of Evesham, we do the Harvest Fest, we do the 4th of July festivities. We also do a lot of other charity type work, scholarships that we give out. And one of the things that we decided to do on behalf of the Evesham Celebrations Foundation is present you guys, assuming I could sign the check, or you have it right there. And you did. Come on up.
Hello, Phil.
Phil is our treasurer. And we're going to present to the Edelman family, because we don't know how you want it divvied up, a check on behalf of Evesham Celebrations for $500. So enjoy that.
That's the only way to find a mayor with cool gifts. That's all, yeah. So we're doing? Yeah, right, exactly. Now, were you on a World Series team this year? I know you tell everybody about the experience of winning the World Series last year.
It was really fun.
How many cities did you guys go to after win this championship?
Well, one was districts were it was somewhere near here. And states was in Inglis Township. Regionals was in Clifton Park, New York, and the World Series was in Winchester.
Now, just for everyone to understand, in baseball, there are 2 different leagues. There's the Little League World Series that everyone's familiar with. There's also the Cal Ripken side. There's 2 different setups. And these guys won the Cal Ripken World Series. Congratulations.
All right, awesome job, guys. Yeah, let's move back to the fun. Let's move back to the fun council. Yeah. The fun stuff. Okay. So, give me all my wrestlers up here. Come on, Browns, JP. Come on up, boys. Come on, guys. Here we go. All right. What's up, boys? JP. Brown, and how are you? Good. All right. This is why I do this. Okay, gentlemen, introduce yourselves. I didn't think anybody first.
I'm Jason Brown.
There we go.
JP Hayes. Evan Brown. Gavin Mullins.
Wasn't there a fifth? Wasn't there a fifth?
Cooper Pond.
Yeah, where's Cooper?
He's at wrestling practice.
I can't believe Cooper no-showed on a big night like this. Practice? Practice? Not a game. We're talking practice. Wow. All right. I love it. Okay, so we're going to go through this. This is Cooper's. Okay? I know, it's all about Cooper, JT. It's not you. Okay, JT, we'll do you first. All right, here we go. Whereas more than 1,000 wrestlers statewide competed in 8 different regional qualifiers through the state of New Jersey and had to place in the top 3 in their weight and age division to earn the opportunity to compete in the New Jersey State Champions Tournament. Whereas 5 youth athletes in the Malton Rec Council Wrestling Program earned the right to compete in the United States of America Wrestling Association New Jersey Championship. Whereas Cooper Ponlandolfo, a 7th grader at Malton Middle School, won the New Jersey State Championship in the junior 80-pound class and has earned the title of New Jersey State Champion. Where Jason Brown, a 3rd grader at MES, won the New Jersey State Championship in the Bantam 60-pound class and has earned the title of New Jersey State Champion. Whereas Evan Brown, the 4th grader, took 2nd place in the New Jersey State Championship in the 70-pound weight class. And whereas JP, a 3rd grader in my daughter's class that happened to sit next to her at her desk at Macy Elementary, took 2nd place in the New Jersey State Championship Bantam 80 pounds. And whereas Gavin Bolin, a 4th grader at Evans, took 8th place in the New Jersey State Championship in the midget 50-pound class. Is that you? Whereas wrestling is a sport that requires great determination, perseverance, dedication, hard work at any level of competition. These young wrestlers have demonstrated such characteristics through their respective achievements. I, Randy Brown, Mayor of Township of Evesham, on behalf of the Township Council and all the citizens of Evesham, congratulate each wrestler for earning the right to compete in the New Jersey State Championship Tournament and their incredible success in top ranking and their respective classes. Congratulations, gentlemen. You made all of us very, very proud, including your parents. Okay. Mr. Brown. Let's go. Ready? Okay, so this is what you're going to do. I've never wrestled before.
Oh my God. Evan, respectful.
This is what we're going to do. He's a Brown. He will take care of another Brown. All right, so this is what we're going to show you. Okay? I remember I coach football for a living, not wrestling. Okay? So how do you start a match?
Take them down.
Do you stand across from each other? Okay, where is it where that, like, you're down and I'm on top of you? What move is that?
Well, that's called,
What's that?
it's called like a referee stand.
Okay, let's do that stance. Okay, you go down first. All right, good. Here we go. Okay, now, where do I put your hair? Okay, now show me where I put my hands. Okay, where should I put my hands? This right here, right? And where do I put the other? Right, like this? Okay. Okay, now I have you here, right? Now, are you taught any moves from here, or can I just like pick you up and pin you?
Well, pretty much.
Well, that's the idea, right? Okay, so if we reverse these roles, and I'm right there, would you be able to pin me relatively quickly? All right, let's try it. Come on. All right, here we go. All right, come on. There. Okay, now, Zulu, count to 3. Here we go. Okay, and go.
Jamie Mavis boy. Bring it down.
That was way too easy. All right, can I try this time? All right, here we go. Oh, you want to do it?
I'll do
All
it.
right, here we go. Now, ready? Now I'm going to get it. Do me again, one more time. That was so fast.
I'll do it. Can I try?
And that's why I coach football and not wrestling. I know, Jake pitched. Sit down. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this young man actually, so we were in California with my family, me, my 2 daughters, and my wife. So we were leaving Disneyland the other day. And my Ryan says to me, Dad, for the next month, I have to sit next to JP. Is that true? Okay. Now, are you very, very nice to my daughter? Because considering all these officers right here, you understand what would possibly happen if you weren't very nice to my daughter, right? So, is my daughter a good, does she get good grades? Yes. If at any time you can provide her protection, I know she could hook you up with a couple tests. Okay? Hey, listen, you guys, listen, it's funny because we all know the kids, of course. We all grew up together with these kids. And, you know, we've seen them when they were here to there. And these, of course, are Chris Brown's sons. And to see you guys, I mean, literally, we were elected in 2007, and you guys were like this big. So, to see what you've done, we're very proud of continual MRC, and you guys are great. So, congratulations. You get your stuff. to kick off coverage roll right there. All right, good. Thanks, boys. Congratulations. Good job. Okay. Why don't you take over? Come on. Get yourself done. Whereas distracted driving, which we've seen, life-threatening practice that's preventable. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that at any given moment during daylight, 660,000 drivers using handheld cell phones while driving. State of New Jersey will participate in a nationwide distracted driving crackdown here in the month of April in an effort to raise awareness and decrease driver distraction through a combination of enforcement and education. National slogan is "You drive, you text, you pay." So, Chief, why don't you tell us a little bit about this program and how we're going to enforce it?
Yeah, this is a grant that we received from the National Highway Traffic Safety Association. It's based off of information that we provide each year on the amount of citations and motor vehicle stops regarding the use of cell phones while driving. And as a result, our police department was awarded with a $5,000 grant to produce overtime for officers to be actively out there identifying and educating and enforcing people that are talking on cell phones. So we'll be in the DDAX area, along the highway, throughout the day and night enforcing this.
These are patrol numbers. Are you kidding me? This is... Sorry, go. Good.
Thank you.
All right, let's start bringing...
I got the
Okay, now. Okay, ladies first, of course. So, Jessica, where's Jessica? Jessica, come on up. All right, I saw that. Is that the gentleman, you know that gentleman? Guy with a gun here, come up anytime you want. Stand up here all night long. Adrian, nice to meet you. Okay, Chief, thank you. All right, you're not getting sworn in yet. You haven't noticed by now, we talked for a lot. Ever since they brought the cameras in about 3-4 months ago, I get more camera time, so I can just stand here and talk for the next couple hours. So Jessica graduated from Washington Township High School in June of 2009. She earned an associate's degree from Camden County College in Criminal Justice and earned her bachelor's degree in Law and Justice at Rowan University in 2014. She attended the Cape May County SLEO 2 Police Academy. Oh, he's back. There he is. That's great. Upon graduation from the academy, she worked for 2 summers SLEO class at Stone Harbor Police Department. Stone Harbor Police Department. Yes, sir. Was it like a lot of people like Bob or Ken causing problems? No. He would never cause a problem. So what kind of problems they have at Stone Harbor in the summer?
Not much when we were patrolling.
That's great. All right. So you live in Turnersville?
No, sorry, I live in Nashville.
Great. And when are you moving to Marlton?
Maybe in a few years.
Great. He's got a gun. Now all of a sudden he's going to start negotiating with this person. It's all right. He's got a gun. Sir, whatever you think, increase your salary tomorrow. Sorry, guys.
You're out.
Where you went? Collingswood? Sorry. She beat you tomorrow. All right, we're going to swear you in here now. Chief, you want to say anything before we move on to the swearing in?
I'll just say something at the end after all 3.
For everybody?
Yep.
Okay. Great. Everybody who's coming up for Jessica, come on.
Come on, guys.
Bring everybody up.
All right, everyone.
Come on. Hey, what's up, buddy? How are you? How are you? Really bad.
Yes.
Okay, so since this baby's been making home, what's your name? Brandon. Hey, Brandon, how are you, buddy? This is doing great. Hey, Brandon, come here. Look up. What's up, man? Stand over here for me. What do you think, huh? Usually I have a much better way of chilling. What was that meeting we had a baby for like 20 minutes? Right? At the Bueller meeting for the kids. And how old is Brandon? 1. Brandon, are you driving yet? All right, here we go. All right, ready? Here we go. Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. There. All right, here we go. I, Jessica Lettieri,
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
and
and to the governments established in the United States
to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of the office of patrolman
of the office of patrolman
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Hold on, whoa, I didn't take pictures yet. Whoa. No, just stand right in the middle, Jessica. Now everybody kind of work their way around you. AJ with the gun, come close, please. Grab you, move down. So everybody get close, bring Brandon, Chief, Tom. Around 50. Good, Alec?
Yeah, I took a bunch.
That's good.
These are good. Thank you.
Jessica. Sorry, that's not official.
Okay, Halima, where I see Halima, come on up, Halima. Well, I'm going to have a gentleman outdress the mayor. Hey. How are you doing? John, nice to meet you. Hi, Tara. How you going? Mike, how are you? Come on. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. All right. Dad? Mom? Oh, really? You don't have a gun. I do.
You're a police officer too, so
Oh,
excuse me.
we're in a switch position. All right. All right, Halima graduated from Oak Crest High School in 2009, where she was very active in track and field, very active in the community. 2012, she earned an associate's degree from Atlantic Cape Community College. She graduated from Atlantic County Police Academy in June of 2013, where she received the Most Improved Physical Fitness Award and was class president. You know, Councilman DeAndre is behind you. He was a class valedictorian one day. That was 1984. So you only had to go through like 6 classes. Today, he'd be like middle of the road with me. But you're obviously. Previously employed as a Class 2 officer with the Camden County Metro Police Department, Ms. Leach is a former karate instructor who's very active in the mixed martial arts training. You are not wrestling. There's a lot of people on this side of the room would love for you to wrestle, but no. Okay? We let him do it. All right, JP, I know you. So you work for the Camden County Metro Police. Tell me a little bit about that.
I didn't spend much time there. I was originally in Atlantic City for a year and a half.
Tell us about that.
It's where I'm from, where I reside. It's different. It's different. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Today's class.
So you're happy to be here. Good. We're happy to have you. Especially somebody that can walk around next to me that has karate and all that. Some dangerous young little boys here I need protection from. So, but really, congratulations. Welcome. Very, very excited. Okay? It's very nice. Okay, same deal. I'm going to come close to Okay. I, Helena Leach, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of patrolman, according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Congratulations and welcome on board. Okay, here we go. Thanks. Okay, Joe. Last but definitely not least, come on, bring all the crowd up for me, please, all right? Hello. Hi, Lauren. How are you? Okay, Joe. All right, Joe. I have Tom Chernietsky over there, where I have 4 council people that still struggle to mention his last name. So I'm going to try this. Chizuski? Chizeski.
My grandma will. Yeah, she'll help you say.
Oh, okay. What is it, Grandma?
Chizeski.
And where are you from? Where? It's better than a game show sometimes. Where's your family?
Well, one side is from Sweden and Norway, and the other is from Ireland and Scotland.
So which side is from the...
My husband's side.
Oh, he's Polish.
Yeah.
Do you know he's Polish too? He said he's the tallest guy from his village. Is that possible? Yeah, he keeps telling us that. Did you know that? Have you ever been to Polish? Speak Polish to him.
Dobrze, dziękuję. Do widzenia.
We just have a conversation with him. Is Grandma not going to come up and join the festivities?
Denise.
Denise? Tom will carry it. Tom will. Richard will go. Wow, okay. Joe. I'm just all turned around now because Grandma said she was from Maple Shade. Okay, more importantly, I see we have a baby on the way. And when are you? Age 20.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah. Is this will be your first? Boy, girl, you know yet? Surprise. Yeah. That's great. Now, your Joe. Let me just make sure the baby's on Joe. Yeah. Good job. All right, good. All right. Yeah, Joe's the 17th, okay? All right, so Joe graduated from Haddon Heights High School in 2006, where he played basketball and football. He attended Rutgers University Camden, earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice in 2010. He worked at Whole Foods, interesting combination there, worked at Whole Foods in Marlton for 6 years, and attended the Camden County Police Academy. So were you like the baddest guy in Whole Foods then? Pretty much.
I was the nicest ever.
Oh, really? Were you carrying a gun while working at Whole Foods? No. I said, buy those tomatoes. That's awesome. Previously employed as a patrolman in the Camden County Metro Police Department. His older brother is a New Jersey State Trooper, and they reside in Barrington. Well, Joe, congratulations. We're very, very happy to have you here. And to join the growing crew. Since I've been mayor, we continue to add more good young patrol men and women, and you look like you'll join the crowd. Randy's a nice name for us. Okay, who's holding this? All right. Okay, here we go. Ready? Now you raise your right hand. And that's Haddon Heights. If you went to Cherokee, you know how to do it. Haddon Heights. Even if you went to Maple Shade, Grandma, he would have known how to put it right in the top. If he was a shader, I'd understand it. Okay, ready, Joe? All right, here we go. I, Joe
Chizeski.
There we go. Junior. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
The Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
To the same. And to the governments established in the United States.
To the governments established in the United States.
And in this state.
And in this state.
Under the authority of the people.
Under the authority of this people.
And that I will faithfully.
And faithfully.
Impartially.
Impartially.
And justly perform.
And justly perform.
All the duties.
All the duties.
Of the officer of patrolman.
All the duties of officer of patrolman.
According to the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
So help me God. There you go. You made it through. All right, kind of stack up behind. Let's get close here, and then we'll take our little break. Who's the young guy taking the picture?
Friend.
Oh,
Firefighter Baltimore.
oh, wow. You're a firefighter in Baltimore? Oh, we will be talking as soon as I give you this break. Good now? Good. All right. Congratulations. Wonderful.
Kevin, I'm right here, Kevin. How are you, darling? Good to see you. I know you have plenty to say today. I can't wait. I can't wait. But they're going to keep you waiting for a while, you know, so be patient. Be patient, okay? I know, but you've been 14 years patient waiting for the sidewalk, so I'm with you, baby. If you need to go out to the men's room, David, let me know, and I'll make sure that I get you out there, okay? Nice to see you.
Keep it sassy. Did you get the message?
I did get the message.
The second portion of the Mayor's Clown Show is going to be starting.
Now, be real careful with doors. If you're not familiar with this, I don't want you to fall. And you know Kathy, she's like the angel.
Oh, she is my angel.
Woo, that was fun. That was fun stuff. That's fun stuff. So wait, that's why our job is an awesome job. Yeah, it's a great job. Regardless of the agita times, some people put us through it. Great job. Okay. Mr. Gillespie, good to see you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good to be seen.
Okay. All right, so we move, so preliminary public comment on agenda items only. Anybody in the public wish to comment on an agenda item only, please step forward. Okay, seeing there's Phil.
Yes, I do.
Would you want, do you have something on your agenda?
Hello, Phil Warren, 357 Harvard.
So what agenda item are you speaking on?
97, 2015, the amendments to the capital improvements.
What number, Phil?
97-2015.
Okay.
Just wondering what, I might be one of the few people who actually read through the whole initial one. Just wondering what amendments were made.
Are you referring to
The amendments.
the resolution? Okay.
Capital improvement.
Tom, this is the interior building fixtures, right?
Yeah, I think that's more covering.
Yeah, so what this is an old capital, well, an older ordinance where there might be some capital funds left. So we're adding some, just some basically maintenance stuff in this building to that list.
Anybody else about an agenda item only, step forward.
Hi, Joe Shalaba, 7 Light Horse Court. Question. I have the agenda that was posted, I guess, yesterday. Ordinance 15.5 and 16.5, are there reasons they were removed from the agenda for the night?
Yes. Mr. Glassman?
Yes, sir. They were removed, even though they're not on the agenda. We address this. They were removed because, at least as to 15, the redevelopment plan came back late last night from the prospective redeveloper with changes that they wanted to have made. Nancy Jamno, Leah Fury, and I had a conference call today that lasted over an hour going through those changes. Most of them were saying no to. Some made sense, some need further discussion. So rather than introducing that ordinance with some questions still out there on the redevelopment plan that it would approve, I asked it to be taken off the agenda so that we can nail down those things, cross those T's and dot those I's before it comes back to the council. With regard to 16 relates to G-boards, right? So throughout this process, the two properties have generally been part of the same redevelopment plan, and so we thought just to avoid any confusion, it would make sense to take them both off, and then when we're ready to go back with them and present them to the council, then they can go back on.
Thanks, John.
So the, as you read the ordinances that were online yesterday, we will have a chance to discuss this at a planning board meeting on the 16th, because the ordinance already says that the planning board conducted the meeting on the 16th, and it was open to the public, and members of the public had an opportunity to pose questions, but that obviously didn't happen.
No, and that'll be changed to reflect when it will go before the planning board. The problem is the way the statute reads, you introduce the redevelopment plan, you then refer it to the planning board. So you have to assume that the planning board will have heard it,
And then when you adopt it, that will have been factually accurate. At the time of introduction, though, it sets forth what the procedure will be. So when this ordinance does come back to, these two ordinances come back to the council, those dates will be changed. Right now, we're hoping to have it introduced on May 5th, referred to the planning board thereafter, and brought back to the council on May 26th. Again, that depends upon whether or not the prospective redeveloper and staff end up in sync on submissions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else on an agenda item?
Jim Geisler, 226 Winding Way. Ordinance 11-4-2015.
Jim, we're going to have a public hearing on this, so.
Will that be at the
Yeah.
end? Okay.
No, when I call public hearing on that, let's just keep the comments for that.
Thank you.
Okay, Jim. Okay, anybody else? Okay, seeing there's none, close public hearing on that. And close public comment. Alrighty, Miss Mary Lou, let's get rolling on 10-4-15.
Okay, ordinance number 10-4-2015, an ordinance of the Township of Evesham in the County of Burlington, New Jersey, providing for the improvements to the township golf course and facilities and related expenses in and for the township, and appropriating $185,000 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $176,180 in golf course utility bonds or notes of the Township of Evesham to finance the same.
Okay, I'm open public hearing on ordinance 10-4-2015. Anybody in the public wish to comment on this? Or
Your Honor, got to do it after a motion.
no. Follow along.
Sorry.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Anybody in the public wishing to comment on this one only, please step forward.
Kenneth Mills, 119 Meadow Lane. I just have a couple of questions. I noticed that last year we hired a consultant, I forget what we paid him, but like $80,000, I think. And I was just wondering if the council has ever reviewed his recommendations, and if he made any recommendations. Because I see that you're spending more money on maintenance, so it seems that this is kind of like we're redoing the thing. I don't know if he made recommendations or not, but I never saw any type of financial analysis of what was done in this area. Thank you.
I have no comments on that. Tom, you got anything?
No. This ordinance deals with the equipment and stuff like that.
Okay.
We are asking council to fund in the bond ordinance, so not ready to discuss those other.
Okay.
At the moment.
But this doesn't fund that, basically.
Yeah, this does not fund that.
Yep.
These are just maintenance issues, equipment issues.
Well, it's still, we spent a lot of money here, and I think we should discuss the whole picture here. It seems to me like there's a number of things that should be discussed. And I don't know what's happening, but we paid a consultant a lot of money, and I haven't saw any results of that. Thank you. I probably won't, but thank you.
Okay, anybody else at the public hearing on this ordinance, please step forward. Okay, I need a motion to close public hearing on ordinance 10-4-2015, please.
I make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance number 10-4-2015.
Okay, need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, I need a motion to adopt ordinance 10-4-2015, please.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Comments?
No, sir.
Seeing there's none, Mary Lou, please poll the council.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Aye.
Mr. DeAndrea?
Aye.
Ms. Hackman?
Aye.
Mr. Solly?
Aye.
Mayor Brown?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right, Mary Lou, number 11-4.
Ordinance number 11-4-2015, an ordinance of the Township of Evesham and the County of Burlington, New Jersey, providing for various capital improvements and related expenses in and for the township, appropriating $3,150,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3 million in general improvement bonds or notes of township to finance the same.
Okay. Anybody in the public wishing to comment? I'm going to open public hearing on ordinance 11-4-2015. Mr. Geisler.
Thank you.
Yep. Just put your name and address in the record, please.
The issue we are having in Tara is a water problem, an under-drained water problem. After 33 years living in my home, I started to develop water problems along with other residents in the town and the community. I wrote a letter to the township manager. He responded, which I appreciated. That was in 2009. In 2015, nothing was still done. I wrote a second letter. And at that time, not only was I still getting water in my basement with the other residents, but the street is sinking at the curb line. My sidewalk is sinking. People can't walk when it rains. Kids can't stand and wait for a bus on the sidewalk when it rains. It's just, it's not good. So I believe that I'm all for moving forward like the township has done. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, I take my grandkids to the park, it's amazing. But we also have to, before we move forward, we got to take care of what's not right. I mean, if there's maintenance to be done, we have to take care of these things. You know, there's an underground water problem. There's water runoff where Old Borders is, running off the parking lot, into the ground, around Tara, all the way to Brick Road, not in a drain pipe, but in the ground. That water has to go somewhere. It's going in the ground into our basements. We become pumping stations, water pumping stations for the township at our expense. I had to put a pump in, I had to have it installed, along with other residents in the development, and so far nothing's been done. So we got to do something.
Sir?
Hold on 1 second. Tom?
I really apologize for interrupting you, but I just want to make it clear, this bond ordinance, the reason it's treated outside the budget, we did it ahead of time, really was driven by what you're talking about right now, and funds are specifically identified for the Tara underdrain. So we did this in advance of the budget so that we can get to the engineering and the bid award and all that.
Right, I understand that,
Okay.
but it's beyond that now. It's not the underdrain, now the sidewalks are sinking. What do we do for that? Is that on me now that I have to replace my sidewalk? I don't think so. I'm coming after the township for that. I mean, it's been 5 years, 6 years, I think I've been pretty patient. 5 years I've been patient, waiting with water in my basement, and nothing's been done. Now the sidewalks are sinking, the township, I call them Public Works. The guy comes out, he says, you know what he says to me? I was born at night, but not last night, like Coach Scott said. He says, oh, in the summertime it'll come back up. Oh, really? You know, come on. You think I'm stupid? This is crazy. Oh, well, it'll come up in the summertime. We'll just grade it out so the water will go past your house. It's not going to happen. I mean, you know, come on. We got to do something other than the underground. I'm not the only sidewalk that's dropped. There's other. I go through the whole development. It's all over. What I'm saying is, there's got to be more appropriate money, more than the underdrain. Sidewalks, safety. I mean, we got to do something. That's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gusson. Tom, you and Tim will handle that. Take a look at where we are with it and move on. I know they've been in touch with Mr. Mills, but we'll put you on the loop of when each thing keeps starting to happen, Mr. Gusson. So let you.
I got to say, Mr. Zanetti, both times I contacted him, he replied to me. I appreciate that.
No.
Thank you.
Well, you know what? If we go all the way back, I know Mr. Gleisler, I know we've known each other a long time, but I know you haven't been in many meetings. One of the things I've continued to stay up here is, unfortunately, we've been playing catch-up since I've been up here about these roads. We went almost a decade or more and didn't pave a single road in Evesham, instead of going out and being progressive. So now we're getting the communities like Briarwood, like Mayfair, who are nearing the 15, 20-year mark. Now those roads. Meanwhile, we still don't even have all of Cambridge done yet. And we don't have, of course, haven't done all of Tara yet. So we're trying to play catch up, catch up, catch up. Unfortunately, there's going to come a time here where this council is going to make a decision of how much significant bonding we're going to put in place to do a lot of the interior roads. And as you know, what we've decided to do this year is Willow Bend down to Taunton and Thompson Mill. Willow Bend, Thompson Mill, and Elmwood, because they're so highly traveled and they're a disaster now. So, we've taken it and gone that way. So, unfortunately, there's not an endless amount of money, but we've got to try to do our best to handle your issue, which I know this is at least one of the steps in handling the issue. So, and I know your issue is saying it's even deeper, and your concern is where's that wood originating? You believe you know where it's originating from the shopping center and moving in. So that's where we've got to rely on these professionals to tell us what's happening from there. Well, we got to keep you in the loop. Tom will keep you in the loop.
All right. Go take a look at the sidewalks. Wasn't aware of that situation as it pertains to the under drainage system, but we'll take a look at that.
Yeah. And what we have to see is how many are affected, how many aren't affected. But I tell you, Mr. Geisler, obviously, we rely a lot on what these guys do. Okay? We'll be in touch. All right. All right. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Ken, did you
Mr. Mills.
I'd just like to elaborate on this, what Jim said a little bit. We've been having this problem for about 5 years, and it seems like we get so far, and then all of a sudden it just falls. Last year we had Mr. Cromie sent the engineer out, Mr. And
he's another one with a challenging last name. He's Jashevsky.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, they sent it out, and they sent out somebody, and they wrote a letter that said it had to be done, and then the job was bid, and then it wasn't done. So yet we do all these other things. We spend lots of money on other things, and we think our infrastructure in Tara is falling apart. But nobody seems to listen. I mean, I don't know.
I can't. You just said nobody's listening. They're putting money into it right now, Ken.
Well, I hope we
nobody's
will.
listening.
I was assured a year ago that we were going to do something, but nothing happened.
I don't know how the vote's going to go. We're going to see here, so we'll see. Once it's voted in, then your process is beginning.
Well, I hope that something happens this time.
See how the vote goes.
Just for the record, we've done 2 significant improvements in the neighborhood over the past few years. And what happened in this case was that the bid was just too high and exceeded our last year's capital allowance for that.
Got it.
And that's why we hurried up and tried to get this before you. So that's priority 1 this year.
Okay, anybody on just this issue?
Pleased to know that you had a nice vacation. I moved here 35 years ago, and the past 5 years
Tell me your name
I
first.
haven't been able to.
Tell me your name.
My name is Edward Rick. I'm on Meadow Lane.
Okay.
Every year after we replace a sump pump, I'm afraid to go away. I can't take a vacation. It's nice that we've built it, putting in new ball fields, and spending millions of dollars on turf. But what are we doing with the properties that are going downhill? I couldn't sell my house because got a cost. The sump pump runs 24/7, and I've been told by other people that this is being taken care of. I'm listening here tonight, and I'm not hearing anything encouraging. So I'd like to take a vacation myself. Thank you.
Okay. Hopefully there'll be some changes. You can't take a vacation. Anybody else on just this issue? All right, seeing there's none. Need a motion to close public hearing, please.
I make motion to close the public hearing on ordinance number 11-4-2015.
All right, need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I need a motion to adopt ordinance 11-4-2015, please.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Comments? Seeing there's none, Mary Lou, please poll the council.
Mr. DeAndrea.
Aye.
Mr. Deanna.
Aye.
Ms. Hackman.
Aye.
Mr. Zulli.
Aye.
Mayor Brown.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. First ordinance reading, Ms. Mary Lou.
Ordinance 12-5-2015, public hearing for May 5th, 2015. An ordinance supplementing Chapter 26 of the Township Code entitled Police Department to create the position of police chaplain within the Evesham Township Police Department.
Okay. I need a motion to introduce ordinance 12-5-2015, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance number 12-5-2015 with public hearing on May 5th, 2015.
Okay, I need a second.
Second.
Comments?
With the police department, you know, this is a volunteer position, and I've spoken to some of the clergy in town who are excited about it, and just being able to offer something to our residents at that level is wonderful.
Anybody else? Okay. Mary Lou, please poll the council.
Mr. DeAndrea.
Aye.
Mr. Deanna.
Aye.
Ms. Hackman.
Aye.
Mr. Zulli.
Aye.
Mayor Brown.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, I need a motion to introduce ordinance 13-5-2015, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance number 13-5-2015 with public hearing on May 5th, 2015.
Sorry, Mary Lou, but I'll read the title in real fast. An ordinance of the Township of Evesham amending Chapter 72 of the Code of the Township of Evesham entitled Fees. Did I have a second on that?
Second.
There you go. Comments? All right. Mary Lou, please poll the council.
Mr. DeAndrea.
Aye.
Mr. Deanna.
Aye.
Ms. Hackman.
Aye.
Mr. Zulli.
Aye.
Mayor Brown.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, Mary Lou.
Ordinance number 14-5-2015, public hearing for May 5th, 2015. An ordinance to amend Chapter 161, zoning modifications and additional requirements, Section 161-1, conditional uses.
Okay, I need a motion to introduce ordinance 14-5-2015, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to introduce ordinance number 14-5-2015 to public hearing on May 5th, 2015.
All right, need a second?
Second.
Comments?
Your Honor.
Sir?
Just a quick question. Ms. Gemini, is the expectation by modifying conditional uses lessen, not to say lessen the load at the zoning board, but the idea is when you're looking at something that everyone's coming in on to grant a use variance or a C variance, is that the thought process behind it?
In this case, excuse me, it's to provide the allowance for drive-through restaurants in an area that isn't permitted. So yes, it would provide that without having to go to the zoning.
But still, as they go through, they still have to meet the requirements and specifications that you guys outlined.
That's correct. They have to meet certain conditions that are outlined in this ordinance.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Mary Lou, please poll the council.
Mr. DeAndrea.
Aye.
Mr. Deanna.
Aye.
Ms. Hackman.
Aye.
Mr. Zulli.
Aye.
Mayor Brown.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, I need a motion to adopt resolution 97-2015, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 97-2015.
Need a second?
Second.
Comments? All right. Mary Lou, please poll the council.
Mr. DeAndrea.
Aye.
Mr. Deanna.
Aye.
Ms. Hackman.
Aye.
Mr. Zulli.
Aye.
Mayor Brown.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, consent agenda. Deb, would you change that for us, please? Okay, I need a motion for the approval of the consent agenda, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move for approval of the consent agenda, including the listed motions.
Okay, I need a second.
Second.
Any separations?
Your Honor, my
Sir.
question, and for Mr. Gillespie, as a parishioner for at St. Joan of Arc Church, I think you made a comment before that if we're all part of the same thing, I mean, should I abstain from this one?
I don't think so. I think at least 3 members of the council are members of St. Joan of Arc.
Yes.
All right. So, under the rule of necessity, if 3 are disqualified and there's only 5 people, that leaves 2 to vote. That can't happen. So, 3 become requalified again. Happens in a lot of towns.
It's an interesting,
Monsignor's going to be very happy.
Before you
Yes, sir.
vote on that, though, I'm sorry, did that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On Resolution 100-2015, which amends the calendar of meetings, I just wanted to ask council for 2 considerations. One, next Tuesday is a 4 o'clock meeting. My understanding is there may be moved to 3 o'clock. The meeting's largely going to be closed session, but if that's going to happen, then I would recommend that you include that in this resolution now so that it does not become a special meeting.
It is. I changed it, Mr.
So you did change, I didn't see the revised one. And then on May 26th.
Also changed.
The 6:30?
Yes, sir.
You're good, Mr. Lee. Thank you.
Okay, anything else, council?
No.
Okay. All right, I had a motion and a second, right, Mary Lou?
Yes.
Okay, any separations, guys?
No, sir.
No? It's all good? Motion second, Mary Lou, please poll the council.
Mr. D'Angelo.
Aye.
Mr. Ziano.
Aye.
Ms. Hackman.
Aye.
Mr. Soli.
Aye.
Mayor Brown. Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, last but not least, anybody in the public wishing to comment on anything, please step forward. Excuse me, ma'am, hold on one second. I think that, Kathleen, were you bringing?
We have a group, so go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
come on in. That's okay.
Where's that person?
I'm Joanna Stello, I'm at 32 Hayward Drive, and my question is for the police chief. If you use your cell phone as a GPS, is that considered cell phone use?
You have it in your hand while you're driving, correct, but if you have it like on the dashboard, anytime you take your eyes off the wheel, it's considered dangerous, but all cars are built now with GPS in there.
Okay.
So handheld is the key, it's a hands-free.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thanks for coming on. Okay. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm coming to you guys.
Oh, first, let's get your name and address.
Jonathan Nealon, 361 Belmont Road.
Jonathan?
Yes.
Okay, hold on one sec.
All right. I'm coming to you guys.
Hold on one sec. Kathleen? Kathleen? Do you want to get everybody, or are they all
No,
saying?
they each have a statement.
Right, I'm saying, but you want to just get all of them on record, what their names are?
Yeah, sure.
And then that way we can. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Okay, who's going to go first? Jonathan? Kathleen, would you give him the microphone so we can get it on tape?
I live at Inglis Gardens at Evesham, which again is located along Elmwood Road. I've lived there for 9 years, and I absolutely find it completely ridiculous that every time I leave my apartment to venture down the street to shop in that complex, I risk my life. I really do. It's absolutely scary not knowing whether some idiot not being safe on the roads is going to hit me. And I don't think it's fair. The fact that, like I said, I risk being smacked into and God knows what else. I have obscenities thrown at me. Again, it's not fair. There's nothing else I can say about it. The fact that I risk my life every time I need to go down the street. I've lived there for 9 years. I see myself, Kevin Fox, again, risking our lives. It's not a good deal. And there needs to be something that can be done about this. It won't take that much, I don't think, to properly give us a sidewalk. We just need something.
Okay.
And that's all I can say.
What we'll do, Jonathan, instead of addressing each individual person, we'll let everybody speak, and then we'll talk.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Good evening. My name is Josephine D'Antonio. I'm a resident of North Elmwood Road, Inglis Gardens. I was the first original resident of Inglis Gardens. I've come to you on a number of different occasions requesting a grant, something to be done on behalf of my fellow residents.
Josephine, what year did you move in there?
2002.
Okay.
As a child, I had polio. And by the grace of God, I can walk. I had a career, long career in hospital administration. And I try very hard to be an advocate for my fellow residents. Unfortunately, it seems to be falling on deaf ears. But before I go there, I want to publicly thank your police department. They are phenomenal helping us, and thank you. The purpose of the township meetings, hopefully, is to hear the voices of residents. It is hoped that what is requested is reasonable and necessary, and that if possible, you have the ability to request grants from our government. Since 2002, I have come before you on behalf of my fellow residents of Inglis Gardens at Evesham of North Elmwood Road to request about 500 yards of a walkable access, either blacktop or cement, to the corner of North Elmwood Road and Evesboro Medford Light. Year after year, our plea has been falling on deaf ears, yet parks, dog parks, and other things that have already been mentioned have become a priority. Let me once again invite you, Mayor, with deepest respect, to come, use my wheelchair, and just once try to go to that corner. There's a wonderful 7-Eleven, there's a bank, there's a hairdresser, there's a bagel store, there's a dry cleaner. We use all of these facilities. We try to be independent. We try to not burden you and ourselves. We cannot get buses to the corner. We cannot afford taxi cabs to the corner. They won't pick us up. So we try to be independent and proud, and we walk. Or as my friend says, he goes with his wheelchairs. He's had so many obscenities saying you're crazy, get off the road. People are texting on their texts. Police officers have helped us many times when the wheelchairs die. We're just asking for you to please seriously look into the grants for this. My neighbor, Mr. Fox, who will speak next, he is visually impaired. He uses a cane. He works at Fort Dix. He attends St. Isaac Church, and is a chaplain at the lodge in Evesham. On Saturdays, he enjoys fresh coffee and a bagel sandwich from either the 7-Eleven or the New World Bagel Shop. He goes to the 7-Eleven, he goes to the bank, he gets his hair cut, he brings his dry cleaning store. He asks for nothing from any of you except a clear sidewalk. He must walk from our property. If you're familiar with it, Inglis Gardens, you have to walk across a 2-lane highway, which is a nightmare because he can't see. So you've got cars coming at him both ways just to get to the sidewalk on the other side of the street. He then walks to the corner and crosses another 2 times. I have some good news and some bad news for you. I'm 70 years old and I'm very tired of coming here. The bad news is, in my heart of heart, I don't think you're going to listen. I think you all mean well, you're very compassionate, loving people, but it's a matter of money, and I understand that. The good news is, I won't be back. I won't try this again. I'm tired. The final thing that I'd like to say is that if one of my beloved neighbors is in a critical accident, don't bother offering your condolences. Thank you for hearing me. Have a good night.
Thanks. Okay? Yes?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening.
My name is Kevin Fox, and I live at 304 North Elmwood Road, Apartment B, Inglis Gardens. I live next door to my neighbor Josephine and just 2 doors from John Allen. And I'm here tonight for the very same things that Josephine and John have been saying. We want a sidewalk down the street from where we live because, as you've heard, I do walk every weekend to have a cup of coffee. I go to church some Saturday nights. I go and I have a bagel and a cup of coffee. I go to 7-Eleven. I go to the bank. I go to the dry cleaning to get my cleaning done. And I can't see very well, sir. I'm blind and visually impaired. And God forbid, crossing that street one day, I'm just so afraid that somebody crazy is going to run me down. And my neighbor, Josephine and John, and nobody else, I especially don't want that to happen. Because we want to live in safety, and we need the sidewalk to do this. I realize that it costs a lot of money, and budget is tight. I understand that. But sir, I want to live in a township where I can walk down the street in complete safety and peace of mind with this new sidewalk. Please consider it, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Good evening, Cheryl Wolkoff, 44 Hibiscus Drive. I just recently, the plight of my fellow neighbors that live down the road came to me. I drive that road almost every day, and I am truly astounded that a township with all the wealth and riches, and we are a wonderful place to live, there's no question about it, but it continues to amaze me that we can do nothing to help people who need our help, and just as they say, want to be safe. I live right off of North Elmwood in Village Greens, and it's about a half a mile from their facility, give or take. Numerous times I see people in their wheelchairs trying to negotiate that section of the road in order to reach the Village Green Shopping Center. To say that it is dangerous for them is a total gross understatement. It is so difficult for drivers, even me who knows they're there, to see them because they are low in their wheelchairs and because there's a curve in the road also to compound things at that point. I laugh at the share the road sign that is on the road. I think there's one, at least maybe 2. How is a disabled person traveling slowly in a wheelchair expected to share a road with cars that are traveling 35 miles an hour or more? Many people on cell phones and God knows what else. God forbid a driver's just not paying attention or just doesn't see them. The shopping center, as has already been pointed out, has restaurants, a bagel store, dry cleaner, bank, a hair cutting place, and it is located tantalizingly close, maybe a half mile at most, to where they live. But for them, it might as well be 5 miles away. It's just getting there poses a clear danger. Not only is there no shoulder in that area, but the road abruptly ends in a wet ditch, forcing them right onto the roadway with the cars. References have been made to a sidewalk on the other side of the street near the church, but that ends too. Furthermore, forcing them to cross the street on North Elmwood is no guarantee of safety, as that road is always busy and serves many communities in the area, as well as feeder roads. And if a sidewalk were to be built, and I think this was discussed, I'm new to this, but I think there was discussion about that years ago. If the sidewalk were to be built across the street where they could cross, they'd then have to cross and then cross back again in order to get to the shopping center, which is also dangerous. However, if that option were chosen, a blinking red light might help if it were installed to warn drivers of pedestrians in the road. In fact, I think there should be more attention in that regard, no matter what happens. I believe this is a tragedy waiting to happen, and a town that offers so many resources geared primarily to families and kids, and they are certainly worthy of our resources. Why are these citizens with disabilities entitled to anything less? Life is not easy for them, I am sure, and this would make things so much easier. It's no longer relevant that the developer of Inglis House should not have allowed the facility to be built there, or the township maybe shouldn't have. I've read all these different conflicting things. What is totally relevant, as far as I'm concerned, is that the township is do what it can to rectify the situation as soon as possible. There may be only 16 or so residents living there, but their lives are just as important as anyone else's in this town. They should be able to make a trip to a nearby store. They should be able to get a haircut. They should be able to have a meal. They should be able to get their clothes cleaned. I implore the mayor and the council to seriously consider taking action steps to help these residents lead normal lives. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. Thank you for listening to this plight again.
Of course.
I, like Josephine, am very tired of this fight. It has gone on for a very long time, and these people have been at risk for a very, very long time. An independent living facility is just what that says. It gives these residents an opportunity to advance themselves independently. We knew what it was when we accepted COA credits for that facility to be put there. We built a church within vision sight, a shopping center, so these folks who live in an independent living facility can function on their own without the officers having to stop traffic, without my husband and I stopping to drive the residents to and from the shopping center at every turn. I have two gorgeous letters here from two other residents from Inglis Gardens. I could read them, and they would bring tears to your eyes. I'm not going to do that. I would like to give them to Mr. Sarnacki, that he could give them to the mayor to read himself. There is no sense in me sitting here reading 3 or 4 more pages of the plight of the residents of Inglis Gardens. I said to someone recently, they were tired of hearing about the sidewalk. And I told the person, I hope that you're a church-going man. And he asked why. And I said, because this discussion on this sidewalk will not end as long as I reside in Evesham Township. And you had better go to church and pray that I move, because that's the only way it's going to end, unless this town council and all of you are church-going men and women. And you can end it today by saying again, as you did in 2010, and one of Lee's letters references that, I promise that we are going to do something about that. I promise we're going to do something. I'm throwing myself on the sword, not for me. I don't care about me. That's who I care. And I know in your hearts, you all do too. Mayor Brown, council, you've held the taxes here, the municipal taxes, you've done a magnificent job. You've done some of the most wonderful things I've ever seen in a town, very similar to Collingswood, to try to bring this town together with activities. You've done everything that you could for our children and our recreation. But sometimes, safety has to be priority. Priority of the